Fellow football referee Tim Kiefer here. Here's my high school rule book. Does your rule book look like this? I think I may need a new one. That's on deck for this year, 2025. At the back of this rule book is the football fundamentals section. The first football fundamental is possession. Possession seems pretty simple, but is it? Here's a play that begins with a legal snap. Thus, the offense is in team possession of this live ball. The snap itself is a backward pass, and while the ball is airborne, no player has possession, but the offensive team retains possession, and now we have a loose ball and a loose ball play. I may be starting to lose you, and you could be thinking, well, of course, why are we talking about this? Well, stick with me because we're going to continue to build on this. The quarterback receives a backward pass and now is in player possession of a live ball, thus transitioning this play to a running play until the quarterback either throws the ball, hands it off, loses possession by fumbling, or legally or illegally kicking the ball. But hang on, this continues to change as we move forward. The quarterback then throws a forward pass to number 11. We now have a loose ball again with the ball in the air, not in player possession, but still in team possession, and now we convert back to a loose ball play. A lot of loose balls here, but a loose ball play and a loose ball are two totally different things, as you will see. Number 11 catches a forward pass and begins running, making him a runner in possession of a live ball. Forward pass, and the ball is beyond the neutral zone. At no point now can this play revert back to a loose ball play and will remain a running play no matter what happens. Before we continue, let's go back to the snap now that we know that the quarterback throws a forward pass. We established that we had a backwards pass followed by a run, followed by a forward pass, which is then caught and ran beyond the neutral zone. Now, in rule lingo, loose ball play, which switches to a running play, then back to a loose ball play, and finally a running play. Why is this important? Everything that happens prior to number 11 catching the ball is now a loose ball play. We've essentially eliminated that intermediate running play when the quarterback possessed the snap and then until he threw the ball to a number 11. But this only happens after the quarterback passes the ball and it crosses the neutral zone. Confusing? Absolutely. What will make this less confusing is by thinking through each and every play in rule terminology internally, as it just takes one weirdo play where we can go down in flames, and unfortunately, I have seen it happen many times. For example, if the offense were to hold or is called for an illegal block up until the ball is caught, most of us would get this enforcement correctly and go back to the previous spot to enforce a penalty, as we've had some extensive experience with this due to the all but one principal hatchet from a couple years ago. Now, what if the defense commits a foul during the same period, during the loose ball play portion of this play? A face mask, a defensive hold, a UNR. I can't tell you how many officials want to go and tack that foul on to the end of the run. It seems to make sense, but it's totally wrong. It only works if the foul falls into one of our special enforcement categories like roughing the passer. That is why we are breaking the play down like this, because we're trying to establish a process. But more on that later, so let's go back to the play. Number 11 catches the pass and then fumbles the ball at the line of gain, creating a loose ball. Wait a minute, Tim, you just said we can no longer have a loose ball play. Now I'm really confused. This is a loose ball during a running play, not a loose ball play. We only reference running play and loose ball play when we are trying to figure out penalty enforcement, as they have their very own specific definitions. Yes, maybe they should have named loose ball play something else so that we not confuse the terms, but I wasn't around when they came up with it, so we're just going to have to go with it. But it is important to understand the difference between loose ball and loose ball play. While the ball is loose, the offense still maintains team possession of the ball until someone on the other team gains control. Why does this matter? If the ball goes out of bounds, it's still the offensive team's ball and would be returned back to the spot of the fumble. New rule. If either team commits a penalty during the loose ball, it's still the offensive team's ball, and we would enforce from the end of the related run. It is important to know this because as we move on, number 14 of the defense recovers the loose ball, giving both player possession and team possession to the defense. If the defense would have fouled prior to gaining possession, we would have reverted the team possession back to the offense and enforced accordingly. So knowing which team is in possession and when they are in possession is vital to getting a potential enforcement spot correct. Since the offense failed to retain possession, even though the ball passed the line of gain prior to the fumble, the defense is awarded first and 10 at the spot where the ball became dead. Pretty straightforward. Now, why did I take a relatively simple play and turn it upside down? As I mentioned, the game of football, but especially officiating the game of football, is all about process. If you can train your brain to break down every play using internal rule terminology, you develop good habits, which creates a type of thinking which becomes second nature, or what psychologists call unconscious competence, which means a skill or behavior that becomes so practiced that it operates outside of conscious thought. That is the goal. That is where we all want to be, so that way we don't make these type of errors when it comes to penalty enforcement and things of that nature, because we've practiced this skill and can get it right every time. That's it for now. Be sure to subscribe, comment, and share. Also, check out mibt.org for more awesome content like this. But the most important thing today, make it be there.